Welcome back to the Playing for a Change Classic held here at Pace Academy. This is the SUV TV. This is Daryl LeBerry. You're here with Coach Yasir Roseman. You're here with Slider Sports Guy. We are excited to bring this third game of a triple header to you. We have South Cobb versus Pace Academy. We've had two outstanding games. Wheeler won the first game over Pebblebrook. Grayson defeated Kell in the second game. And the third game is looking to be outstanding as well. We'll start with you, Slider Sports Guy. Can you give us a little bit on what we should expect out of South Cobb and Coach Greg Moultrie?
Well, what South Cobb's going to do, South Cobb's going to come at you full speed. They're going to come at you with some athletic guys. You're going to come in with the Jens Rucker kid. This kid is just athletic beyond his means. He's going to try to punish the rim. And then you have Burris, you have Travis. He's one of these point guards who gets downhill as hard as anybody I know. I mean, he gets downhill and attacks the basket hard and ferociously. And then they have the two twins, the two Lecky twins. These are just two athletic guys, two seniors, two leaders, and they're well coached. Coach Moultrie, you know he's going to have them ready to play pace.
Very underrated coach in the state. They've had some huge wins. They have beat Collins Hill. They also beat Wheeler in a surprise game, but they've lost to Shiloh. They lost to Alatoona, and they lost to Pebblebrook as well. They're 6-4, 4-1 in the region. Coach Yasir, what do you know so far about Pace Academy and this high-powered attack that they have over here?
Matthew Cleveland.
Yeah.
And Sharman.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're going to see tonight. You're going
No
to see
question.
a heavy dose of Matthew Cleveland. Cole Middleton, who's going to Cleveland State, really, really good player. Battles down on the inside. You got Madison Durr, senior point guard. They have a really good group that's played together. And then don't forget about Josh REED. Josh REED is one of these guys, an up-and-coming guy in the 22 class. I think that's going to be a really, really good player, really skilled guy. I think tonight, if I had to pick a team, I'd probably go with old Sharman, but I've heard a lot of good things about this Cobb team, this South Cobb team. When South Cobb is clicking and playing well, they're a tough matchup.
No question about it. And Madison Durr, that you referred to as a senior, he has offers from Florida Gulf Coast, Elon, and Dartmouth. He has interest from Cornell, Columbia, Mount St. Mary's, Jacksonville State, and some others. Josh REED has offers from Tulane, Boston College, Xavier, Florida Gulf Coast, Mercer, and he has some others. Coach Sherman thought that they got to do a good job defending them in transition. You talked about South Cobb being aggressive and playing up tempo. Got to contain their dribble penetration. They got some guys that can hit some threes, and they do a good job guarding. They got to do a good job guarding the line today. Offensively, we got a good drive and a finish right there from South Cobb. Offensively, he want to speed the game up every opportunity they get and look to go inside early and often, and also have some good ball movement combined with less settling for offense is their core to their success today. Great scouting report by Coach White from our conversation earlier.
Coach, that was a hell of a scouting report.
Coach White, I mean, he's a guy who's been in college. He gets it. And in a small paragraph, he gave me kind of a synopsis of what they wanted to accomplish. And I thought it was an excellent scouting report as well.
Here's the thing. If you ever don't trust him, just look at his hands. You know, he has what I call heavy hands, all those rings on his finger.
No question about it.
He got a lot of them, Coach.
Good block by Matthew Cleveland right there. Look at Cole Middleton, man, showing a little bit of burst of speed. See, I think he's one of the more underrated players in the state of Georgia. I think Cleveland State got a steal. I think he's a guy who has some size. He has some athleticism. This is a little bit of a burst that I don't normally see from him. And then he just took off and exploded and was able to hang on the rim because he's going so fast and there's some guys underneath him. And he's playing with the mask. We talked about that earlier, guys. You're seeing more and more guys starting to play with masks. The scenario and the situation we're in. How do you guys feel about when you see that now?
Well, Pace got the mask. They have the mask on, but it's not really on.
It's below their nose.
It's below their nose. So,
yeah.
But I guess for precautionary measures, when they get ready to come to the timeout, I think they all put their masks up. But I mean, whatever it is we can do to protect each other. Obviously, we have a lot of a pandemic going on, and whatever we can do, safety precautions that we can take to help these kids so we can continue to play. I'm all with it.
Wow, so we talked about South Cobb being the aggressive team who's going to pressure you and really attack the rim, but so far Pace has really taken it to them. They've gone to a diamond press where they're on the ball and they're pressuring early, and everything they've gotten has been to the rim with physicality. Big-time finish by Matthew Cleveland right there, and one trying to complete the old-fashioned three-point play.
You know the funny thing about those masks, I mean, a lot of it comes down to who runs cross-country in the fall. You know, the kids who have the better lungs, who are in better shape, those masks don't bother them quite as much
Interesting
as the
point.
other ones.
And that is the other starter. We were trying to figure out who the other starter was for Pace. That's Josh Menenberger. So in white with the blue numbers, we have Pace going. That's Madison Durr with a nice drive and finish to the basket. And South Cobb with an early timeout. In gray with the blue numbers and orange trim is South Cobb going from left to right on your screen.
South Cobb energy looks to be down right here. Coach is going to get him a time. Mosley's going to get a timeout here and probably get into him a little bit and tell him, hey, man, it's time to wake up. We got the late game. We're playing Pace. We're playing the home team. We got to play with some energy.
As you can see right there, that was Josh Reed collecting the pass from Matthew Cleveland for the finish. And this is the earlier highlight that we saw from Cole Middleton, who's headed to Cleveland State with the athletic finish. And again, all these plays are athletic and aggressive to the rim, and Pace has been the more aggressive team to start the game.
You know, Cole Middleton to me is one of those if players. You know, if he was 2 inches taller, Cole Middleton, I'm going to be honest, he wouldn't be going to Cleveland State.
He might be a high major player if he was 2 inches taller.
You know, he would be definitely ACC, SEC player if he was 2 inches taller. But he's going to go to Cleveland, and he's going to flourish in Cleveland.
You never know, Coach. We got a guy we were just talking about that's at Baylor that started at Presbyterian. So you never know in these days.
You never know.
You know, he can go over there to Cleveland State, have average double figures, 15, 16 points, and next thing you know, he could be at Kansas somewhere.
And we had this conversation on our lab work episode with the one-time transfer rule where you can go play right away. Oh, look at this finish by Matthew Cleveland. And you talked about him in the pregame. And one thing we know he's going to do is be athletic and play hard, and he's all over the rim. And Pace, for a school who you would consider a small private school, they're as athletic as anyone.
Sharman's done a good job of getting guys to come over here. He's got some pretty good players, and they do a good job of doing what he wants to do in this system. Right now, they got the diamond press going on. They're pushing in transition and getting some easy buckets.
A guy who I want to see more of is Madison Durr. Look at this finish by
big-time finish
with the left hand jump hook going away from the basket. I'm telling you, Cole Middleton, man, he's gonna like we talked about. He's gonna go to Cleveland State, and people are gonna try to figure out how did he end up there. And I think he's gonna go and do well early.
And that's one of the things I love about him. He's what they call here's my SAT word. He's ambidextrous around the rim.
I
like it.
He is.
I tell you, I'm much more than a good-looking guy. I'm kind of smart.
And then look how Cole Middleton jumped out and hard hedged that ball screen. I mean, people don't put value in that. If
and
you're
I know
a coach,
why you noticed that, Coach.
Man, if you can hard hedge the ball screen or trap the ball screen, you can play for me any day of the week. I don't like this NBA drop, play back, allow the guy to get downhill and take mid-range jump shots all night. I don't care what the analytics say. I think it's a bad strategy. I want you to hard hedge or trap that ball screen. Let's take the ball out the guard's hand, not allow him to turn the corner, and let's make him make a quick pass, and let's see what the defense can do in rotations.
Especially in high school, you want to see if a guy can pass.
Exactly. And make a quick decision.
Exactly. Now, in the NBA, it may be a little different. You might swing that thing, and then it's a dunk. But if I'm in high school, I'm trapping, I'm hard hedging because I just want to see if some of these guys have the capability to pass the ball. Matthew Cleveland on the drive.
Two nice free throw by Jens Ruckert right there. Traveling call right there on the baseline. We got South Cobb taking the ball out, baseline out of bounds, going a long way. 12-4 lead for Pace Academy, 4:44 left. And they have clearly been aggressive so far. It'd be interesting to see if South Cobb can handle this pressure and start getting to the rim and being aggressive and athletic.
South Cobb got to get some energy going, man.
They do.
They're not playing with a whole lot of energy right now. And
they better wake up because Pace is.
Jumped out. Oh, there you go. Matthew Cleveland in transition, misses a layup, out to Durr off the rebound. Now, that's the one part of Durr games I think that he has
He's got to get better at.
He's got to get better at shooting the ball. He has some games where he knocks some down, but he hadn't been able to be consistent yet with the jump shot. If he had a consistent jump shot, he is a guy that could really be a mid-major. He could be a really good
like
mid-major player.
High-level mid-major guy because he has size. He's very intelligent. The one thing is just can he impact the game on the offensive end? Great trap by Josh Reed and Madison Durr. That's a nice mid-range pull-up there. Good play by Robert Dix. I love to see that. I love to see a 2-foot jump stop in the paint. Nice under-control mid-range jump shot.
And the thing about Robert Dix, Robert is a young man. Just that rebound. Robert is a young man. He plays in the post, but, he's an undersized guy. He plays in the post because in high school,
look at Matthew Cleveland putting his elbow in the rim.
That's 2 blocks already for Cleveland in the early going.
And that was a good aggressive take to the rim, but sometimes you just go against a guy who's a little bit more athletic than you.
Reed with a 3.
And that's the other thing Josh Reed can do. He spaces the court. He can make threes. He has that kind of little bit unorthodox left-handed release, and that's why a lot of schools want his services.
I think his upside is so good. I tell people Josh Reed is one of these kids, you want to watch him now while it's real cheap. You can watch him for cheap. Because in about 2 or 3 years, it's going to cost a lot of money to watch Josh
It's some
Reed
high
play.
major coaches that have kind of, got in on Josh Reed early and see the value in him, because anytime you're a guy with some size and some length that can make shots, people can find a way to get you on the court.
You're very, very valuable.
Look at Robert Dix, man. He's all over the place. He has two little early baskets, a nice little steal in the post right there.
Matthew Cleveland with the steal.
And this is showtime right here, guys. Oh, he didn't even give us anything. He just went in and got the nice, easy basket.
It's early. He's early. He's just warming up.
Late contest right there. That's Basit Lucky with the nice three in the corner. And South Cobb, who hasn't even played well and looks a little bit asleep, is still only down 6.
Hey, they're finally waking up a little bit here. They've made a couple plays, got a couple wide open threes, and made a couple plays in transition. What a terrible pass by Durr.
Travis
right
Burris was asleep, because that should have been a steal. And I like the way Robert Dix, he's taking some chances and some gambles on those over-the-top passes, and he probably should have been held off by Cole Middleton to retrieve it with 2, but I can tell that's part of his aggressive attacking style. He tries to get steals on those interior passes.
Pace guys look like they're a little bit
They
gashed.
look winded early.
Yes, I think the press is kind of taking a little bit out of them.
And maybe that's how South Cobb gets you. They lull you to sleep and wear you down as the game goes on.
I think it's that mask, man. I just think it's so weird to see players in these masks, man. And you can't tell me it doesn't affect your breathing while you're running up and down that court. So those masks, I think, is just a weird thing to have while you're playing, especially if you're not wearing them right. You know?
I mean, I agree to a certain extent, but I don't know if anything is weird in 2020. Like, this is one of the strangest years I've ever been a part of. Like, nothing surprises me anymore. And
nothing, Coach.
I'm assuming that the fact that they play in those in the game is that they practice with those as well, and they're also using the kind of the surgical ones that I'm wearing now, which is a little bit easier to breathe in, a little bit easier to talk in, but still has a level of protection. Cole Middleton I guess they're changing him at timeouts as well. So if it gets sweaty or it gets some perspiration on it, they change it to keep it dry. So this is something obviously that they've thought about and kind of talked through.
I think changing them after each break, that's one of the benefits of high private school.
I don't know if the public school can handle that, can it?
That's a Pace Academy special, Coach.
Yeah. They are wearing them on their chin, though. That's what some of them do have them up a little bit higher, but most of them have it on their chin. Oh, so number 10 just subbed in for Pace. That's Logan Baker. He is a senior.
Logan's a sneaky athletic kid, man. If you fall asleep on him, he'll jump over you.
Got a little bit of length, too. That was nice hands he got. Nice deflection he got right there. And Cole Middleton, man, he looks in shape right now. He's got a little bit more of a burst in his step. Nice drive by Madison Durr.
Good job by Durr. It's a great job. Great drive and attack of the rim right there.
They sent Cole most of the fall, well, all of the fall.
Off of the injury. I mean, they had to.
So,
yeah.
He got a little bit of time to rest and get right.
Robert Dix with it. Yeah, he's got to catch and finish that. I think Jens Rucker didn't expect Robert Dix to be able to drop that off. That was actually a big-time play for her. And I use the term big loosely because he's probably more of a wing, at the next level.
Size-wise, yes.
But athleticism, and on this particular team, he plays as a big. So he caught the ball, faced in the high post, was able to drive and make a nice pass to Jens Rucker, who didn't expect it. We got a sub in number 21, LJ Moore, who is a freshman who a lot of people like for Pace. I've heard very good things for LJ Moore. People think he has a chance to be a really good player over here at Pace.
He got to roll all the way to the basket on that one. I think that was set up perfectly for him. He just didn't move.
And that'll come from, that you can tell those guys probably just don't play together a lot. They're trying to feel each other out and get used to kind of how the roll is going to happen and how that interior pass is going to happen. And hopefully later on in the season, they'll be on the same page. They've done a good job on Travis Burris, man, who's a guy who I think can get to the rim and make plays. Actually almost got a tip there. What is that going to call? They're going to call charge? Charge on Cole Middleton. And I'll take that, to be honest, as a coach. I love the physicality. So we got a back tip here by Burris. I love a big guy who wants to go in there and hit somebody. And I'm not sure if you see the angle on that, if that's a charge or not, because he kind of jumped a little bit to the side of him. He didn't go straight through his chest. He wasn't squared up. At the next level, that could easily be an and one.
The charge block call is, it's probably one of the most difficult calls to make. because you got a lot of flopping going on. You got a lot. You don't, especially out here where you don't have the charge line, so you don't know what position the right position guys should be in. So it's really a really tough call to make in high school.
And that's why if you're a defender, it's good to put the onus on the official and make him make that call. And that's Robert Dix with a big-time three. He's got 7 points early, 2 easy ones in the paint, and now he knocks down a 3 from the corner. He's played really well on the offensive end, and he's got 7 of their 11 points in the first quarter.
Dix is aggressive today.
He's got to be. Nobody else is scoring.
Matthew Cleveland with a tough one there.
And I'm not sure. I know Matthew Cleveland's working on his jump shot, but I'm not sure if that's a good one.
Oh, wow. God, Dix.
And he shot it early, too. Shot it too early and still made it. And that's a huge momentum booster going into the quarter, man. So he ends up with 10 of their 17. I didn't even realize. That Coach Travis Williams over there with South Cobb?
Yeah, that is Travis. Travis, I actually was with Travis today.
Okay, I didn't realize that Travis was helping out over there. So Travis is another guy who's a great player at Georgia State. Head coach at Maynard Jacksonville a little bit. Also was assistant coach at Georgia State for a couple different stints. Head coach at Fort Valley State and Tennessee State.
Yes.
So he's been all over, man. So that's invaluable having his wisdom over there with that team. And Coach White does not feel great about what's going on. So they jumped out to an early lead and were the aggressor early for pace. But I can just tell by his demeanor and his body language, he doesn't feel good about the way that quarter ended. He knows this South Cobb team is going to continue to fight. So, Sly, what did you see from South Cobb and kind of how they finished the quarter?
Well, I like the aggressiveness of Robert Dix. Now, Robert Dix is one of these guys, he's playing in the post because he's in high school and he's the tallest person on the team. So they put you in the post. But he's a senior. He wants to go to the next level. He wants to play for the next level. And he has a lot of D2 schools, D3 schools, smaller level schools looking at him.
He might be a little bit better than that, Coach.
And that's his thing. I think his skill level, he's improved so much over the summer with his outside shot. His outside game has stepped up so much, and that's what it's going to take for the next level. But what I think a lot of coaches like about him, he understands on this team he has to play in the post. So he's a guy who's going to do what the coaches need.
And committed to it.
And commit to it. And so he's a guy that they like, and I like how he's playing in this first quarter.
What did you see about how Pace started out the quarter versus how they finished the quarter, Coach Al?
Well, Coach, they started out bringing the energy, and it seems like they got a little tired there. They jumped out in the press, and they were pressing. They got a couple turnovers, got a couple easy baskets. Then it's like they ran out of gas at the midway through the first quarter and had a couple turnovers, and they let South Cobb jump back into this thing.
So one thing about Pace is, and this is why a big reason why Coach White wanted to play this tournament, because of the region that they're in, they just don't play a lot of competition. We've got a couple offensive rebounds right here. Minneberger with an offensive rebound. They haven't played. They don't really have a win of any significance so far, even though they're 6-1, 3-0 in the region. I mean, they've won most of their games by 30 points or more. And then the one tough game that they played was Sandy Creek when they played in the earlier tournament, Sean Williams event, and ended up losing 63-59. South Cobb is a little bit more challenged at this point. They're 6-4, 4-1 overall. We talked about wins over Collins Hill and Wheeler, so they played some competition. They're a little bit more prepared, so it'll be interesting to see how Pace can, step up and play a good team, that they haven't seen that very much of so far this season.
And the thing about South Cobb is so confusing. Joe Hilsman put something on his Twitter account. He said they're South Cobbing. And what he means by that, they'll beat somebody they're not supposed to beat.
Like Wheeler.
And then they go and lose to Allatoona.
Allatoona, 67-64. And Shiloh.
And they're better. Shiloh's a decent team, but they're a lot better. South Cobb is a lot better than Shiloh.
And Wheeler is clearly one of the best teams in the state. That's a huge win.
That's a big-time win.
They can't figure out each other. They can't figure themselves out.
Well, a lot of it might be, you got a guy like Travis Burrs who you got a lot of expectations for. And, I mean, so far today, and I don't like talking about kids in a negative way. So far today, he's been a no-show. I mean, he just hasn't given us much of anything. And if you're a senior and one of the better players, you got to show up in games like these.
He's usually an energy guy. He's usually a guy that brings a lot of energy. I watched him over the summer.
And plays with tempo.
Plays with some tempo. But right now, he kind of looked like he's dragging a little bit. But maybe he'll get himself going here in the second quarter because South Cobb needs him to win this game.
And we just saw something that we very rarely see. Matthew Cleveland drives to the rim and got a shot blocked twice. I mean, so you're seeing a team in South Cobb who might not have a lot of size and length, but they're very, very athletic. And they think that they're, as athletic as anyone that they match up with. So it'll be interesting to see how many times Matt Cleveland gets his shot blocked tonight, which is something that very rarely happens to him at this level. Pace drops back into a little zone here, a little 1-2-2, trying to keep South Cobb out of the paint and force jump shots. Good rebound by Matthew Cleveland here.
putting a little pressure on Matthew in the full court, trying to make him speed up.
That's a tough finish.
Big time play right there.
Yeah, if he can do that at a consistent level, then he has a chance to make money and, you know, kind of live up to the level of ranking and notoriety that he's earned early in his career.
Well, I tell you what, he looked like one of those guys that's at Florida State. When you watch Florida State on TV, they're what I like to call wing specialists.
Yeah.
They've had some wings over there, and they've had a slew of wings now. Go to the NBA? What, 3 guys in a row? 3?
Yeah, and Scotty Barnes is going to be a lottery pick.
So that'll be 4, right? That'll be 4 wings in a row going to the NBA. So if you are a wing, Florida State is not a bad place to be looking.
And they just play, you know, they get long guys who are athletic, all similar kind of guys. They switch everything. They're going to pressure you and deny out top. They're going to use your athleticism to their advantage. So he fits. I thought he did a good job picking a program and a school and that kind of fits the way he plays. Nice little runner by Burris. Would have liked to see him finish that. But glad to see that he's starting to put a little bit of pressure on the defense and, you know, trying to impact the game. South Cobb doesn't have a deep bench, but he does a good job subbing guys and trying to keep them fresh. He just brought in number 11, Jermaine Fahy, and number 2, Basit Lecky just comes back in, enters the game, shoots a 3. 21-16, pace up 5.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
You know, it's interesting. You guys are talking about Florida State and how Florida State, they're athletic players. Now, you guys have coached basketball on the highest level. You guys are basketball guys. But one thing I think with Matthew Cleveland, and correct me if I'm wrong, one thing I like about Cleveland was when he shoots a jumper, it seems like he elevates so high off the floor when he shoots a jumper. And I tell people, when you're playing in high school and the tallest person is guarding you is 6'1" or 6 foot, you know, and you shoot low and flat-footed. When you go to college and somebody's 6'6",
it's going to be an adjustment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think he's already made that adjustment now. It seems like he's already ready to get his shot off over these taller players in college.
He does. The one thing, and nice 3 here, right here by Jermaine Fahy, nice down to 3. One thing about shooting when you have a lot of elevation is make sure that you shoot the ball on the way up. You don't want to shoot the ball on the way down. That's one of the issues that guys who have a higher elevation or a higher jump on the jump shot issues that they have. And he shot the ball a lot better. Matthew Cleveland, it's obvious that he's working on his jump shooting. It's something that he knows is an emphasis that he has to get better at. And from everything I hear, he's a gym rat and a great kid. So I just expect him to continue to get better. And that's why I think that Florida State was a great fit for him.
He's done a tremendous job of getting better. He's worked on his game a lot. He's one of those guys that have improved since his 9th grade year. He's really worked on his ball handling, really working on his jump shot, and obviously still has a little bit. There's that guy, Middleton again. Middleton's done a good job.
I'm telling you right now, Cleveland State got a steal. I mean, I don't care what anybody said. Did you see the aggressiveness that he took with that jump hook over his left shoulder and then goes back up and finishes with the one-hand tip in? Back down here, getting another rebound. He's got to have 4 or 5 rebounds at least.
5.
Good pass by Madison Durr, Josh Reed. Nice right-handed finish. And they got a good, well-rounded, well-balanced team. So the one thing about having a lot of teams have a high major guy, and then it's just a bunch of regular guys just trying to, blend in. They got good players across the board. So they don't depend on Matt Cleveland to play great. Obviously, that helps him when he does. They got a lot of guys that can score in a lot of ways.
I think that's a tribute to what Coach said. Heavy hands, Mr. Heavy Hands over there. Mr. Heavy Hands does a good job of getting these guys ready to play, and always has done a good job of making his teams play together.
No
Great
question
finish
about it.
right there by Josh Reed for the and one.
Trying to get the old-fashioned way. Down here on the other end, we have South Cobb with Jermaine Fahy with another back-to-back 3. This is a good play. Rainbow pivot by Josh Reed, getting back to his left hand. Strong and one finish with some aggression. Oh, looked like he tried to get tripped up by Travis Burris right there. We caught that on the SUV TV replay. Apparently the referees didn't catch that, but Travis needs to watch that now. I think these pace guys might have the reputation of some nice private school guys, but let me tell you one thing I know about Sherman White. He coached over in Decatur. He coached over at Carver. His teams are going to be tough and hard-nosed. They will not be punked. I don't care who's playing against them. So it'll be interesting to see how Josh responds to that.
And then you got a guy like Cole Middleton down there. He's like
Cole's just trying to fight.
Yeah, he like contact.
He loves contact.
he plays that bully ball, that grown man
Yes,
ball
he
down
does.
the post, man.
And I'm old school, so I love that because that's something that you just don't see nowadays. Everybody wants to play finesse, so I like a guy who wants to go hit somebody before he does something. Good
Ruffed it on
two-handed
the wrist.
rebound right there. This should be a dunk by Josh Reed. But, oh, good finish. Very skilled finish.
And there is one of the cardinal sin in defensive transition, attacking the ball instead of getting back, trying to find the guy. Those guys, we had two guys attacking the ball, and it calls for the offense to have numbers going the other way, and they were able to get an easy transition layup.
And anybody who's been listening to you the last 2 games knows that's obviously one of your pet peeves. You do not like when guys do that.
I hate it, Coach. I hate it.
Good offensive rebound by LJ, and there goes that guy, Josh Reed, trying to get another old-fashioned and one. He just completed one to play before, so he's not just a jump shooter. He's a guy who has some, has a motor. He has some length and athleticism around the rim. He has a nice touch, plays with some physicality. He gives you a little bit of a flex right there, and he's been a huge addition to this program.
He is a good player, Coach. He is a good player.
They're up 10, 32-22 with 2:49 left. Pace Academy up. Josh Reed at the free throw line trying to complete the three-point play.
I'm really high on Josh Reed's game. I really like what he does, and I'm really interested to see. Hopefully next summer we have a normal summer and he can play the whole full AAU circuit, because he's a guy who could be mentioned as a McDonald's kid, next year, because this team's going to be all his next year.
Oh, no question. Yeah, that'll be interesting. They got a very good team now, but a very senior-laden team. If you know Sherman White like I know Sherman White, I wouldn't be surprised if we have a couple guys end up coming over here that are sophomores or juniors from some way. And then also we have LJ Moore, who will be a guy who will be getting a little bit older. So they'll end up with some more pieces. But like you're saying, Josh Reed probably will be the primary guy next season.
Look like they're playing a little zone here.
They are, but it's an aggressive zone.
Kind of like a little matchup here.
Yeah.
A little aggressive matchup.
First time that the shot clock became a factor right there, and Matthew Cleveland handled the ball in transition. Nice drop off.
Oh,
and there goes Cole. Cole just trying to hit somebody, but that's actually a good block by Robert Dix. Matthew Cleveland with a nice gather and finish. He's played well this half.
South Cobb needs to stop the bleeding right here, Coach. This thing could get out of hand here in the first quarter. Great drive by Rucker, but no finish.
They need a 3. That was huge for him.
That was big, Coach. That was big.
Number 12, Joshua Miles with a 3.
That cuts the lead to 10, Coach. This thing was looking like it was going to get away from him here.
And they've been in the game because of the 3-ball. They've made 1, 2, 3, 4. They've made 6 threes. So they got 18 of their 25 points have been from three-point line. And another tough fadeaway by Matthew Cleveland.
You know what I like about Matthew? I like his awareness. He realized he had a guy who was about 5 inches shorter than him, and he went and asked for the ball down low.
And then I think he's been the guy who's been so athletic that he's kind of played a little bit of 4, so it doesn't bother him catching the ball down there.
Exactly. I think that's kind of where he started out.
Good pass.
Here we go, my defensive transition, Coach.
2 guys running at the ball. Nobody, bad floor balance. Nobody got back and protected the rim.
Man, I know Coach Moultrie is going to go crazy in the locker room at halftime. He's definitely going to talk about defensive transition.
Pace has been really aggressive on the defensive end, man, and they bothered and harassed this South Cobb team, held them to 25, and if it wasn't for the three-point line, and you got a couple guys like Jermaine Fahy who's made 2 threes, Robert Dix made 2 threes, Joshua Miles made a 3, and Basit Lecky made a 3 to start the game, or this game would be more out of hand than it is now. We got a 14-point lead by Pace with 55 seconds left. South Cobb taking the ball out on the sideline.
Let's see if South Cobb can get some here. They really need to get a good shot at the basket, maybe a 3, since they've shot the ball so well. Maybe they can get a 3 right here and cut into this league a little bit before halftime.
This zone, this aggressive zone, matchup zone has really bothered them. They can't really find any driving lanes, and they've been forced to take perimeter shots, and luckily for them, they made a couple of them. And there goes the shot clock violation. Second time that we've seen it in this particular game, and both of those times have come on the South Cobb side. Pace really hadn't had any issues with the shot clock so far.
I'm glad you brought up that zone, and the difficulty is calling the South Cobb, because Burris is a guy, he likes to attack the basket. He loves going downhill. In that zone, he just can't get to the middle of that zone.
And I think that's why he's not been able to impact the game. It's kind of basically taking him totally out of what he wants to do. We got number 10, Logan Baker, handling the ball out top. Inside to the post to Matthew Cleveland. Good job of drawing a foul. He'll get 2 free throws here, try to extend this lead to a 16-point lead with 16 seconds left. SUV TV replay, interior pass, and his move, his post move was I'm bigger and more athletic than you guys.
I'm just bigger than you guys.
Yeah, no footwork, no technique. I'm just gonna jump over top of you guys, and I don't think there's anything you can do about it. He's now 1 for 2 from the free throw line, looking to complete the second of his 2 free throws. Back-to-back makes by Matthew Cleveland there to get to extend that lead to 16 points. There they go, back aggressive, picking up a half court with energy. Everyone's in a stance, everyone's talking and communicating. Look at the help, how they build a wall. I mean, this has been a defensive clinic by Pace. Unforced turnover right there by number 2, Buck Hall, who's come in and give them some solid minutes off the bench.
2.8 seconds here. Let's see if we can get something from South Cobb.
They've gone to 1-3-1 here, 1-3-1. Travis Burris with the force. Great defensive possession by Pace, and Coach Sherman White has done a terrific job.
Just switched it up on him, Coach.
They didn't know what to do right there.
That's one of those deals that, that's one of those in the game, and you know what, let's switch to a zone coming out of the timeout. You go into the timeout, you come out with a man-to-man play, and they switch it up and go zone on you.
And now somebody just has to make a play.
Exactly.
Great half of basketball. This is Pace up 41-25 in our third of our triple header tonight. Pace is up on South Cobb. We'll be back at the half. Thank you for joining thesuvtv.com. Welcome back to the third game of our triple header tonight. We have Pace versus South Cobb. Right now we got Pace up with a comfortable 16-point lead. I want to give you guys a little bit of stats from the first half. For Pace, Matthew Cleveland had 14 points, 5 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 blocks. He kind of did a little bit of everything. Madison Durr had 4 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Cole Middleton had 6 points, 7 rebounds. Josh Reed had 17 points. He was outstanding in the first half. For South Cobb, Basit Lecky had an early 3, 2 steals. Jens Ruckert had 2 points, both at the free throw line. He has to get a little bit more involved, a little bit more active if they want to have a chance today. Robert Dix had 10 points, made 2 threes, also had 2 rebounds, 2 blocks. Jermaine Fahy came in and gave them 2 huge threes off the bench. Joshua Miles also made a 3. Sly, talk to us a little bit about South Cobb and what they're going to have to do in this second half, probably exactly in this early third quarter, if they want to kind of turn the tide and have a chance to come back and win this game.
2 quick things. They have to rebound.
Yeah.
Pace is killing them on the boards. They are killing South Cobb on the boards. They have to rebound, and they have to get Burris going. Burris has to show up. I don't even know if he got off the bus yet.
It doesn't seem like it, and I think this zone has really bothered him, so hopefully they can find a way to get him downhill, whether it's in transition or using some ball screen action. Coach Shaw, what does Pace have to do, continue to continue to build on this lead that they have?
Coach, they just got to keep doing what they're doing. They're, again, coming out here with pressure, pressuring the ball, getting some turnovers, getting some easy buckets in transition, doing a good job of offensive flow on the offensive end, rebounding the basketball exceptionally well. And when they do rebound the ball, they're getting out in transition and getting easy baskets.
I mean, you couldn't have drew that up better. That's exactly what they did. Matthew Cleveland with a great draw and kick. Josh Reed with the unfortunate turnover. Now South Cobb comes back and turns it over again. That would have been an opportunity for Travis Burris to kind of get on the board, but a little bit of an errant pass, and he wasn't able to track it down.
South Cobb got to find some energy, Coach. They got to find some energy. They got to find – maybe Coach need to go deep in that bench. You know how it is, Coach. Sometimes you just got to find a way to get some energy into your team. Backdoor play there, snuffed out by South Cobb.
Good job of scouting. Great job by Ruckert of being alert and active. I think Pace tries to get that early in the second half where they get a backdoor play to Cleveland to get a dunk to kind of take the wind out of the other team. So good steal by Jens Ruckert right there. Was able to get a steal and then was able to get a foul on the other end, but on the other end gets another block, and this could be Cleveland, the dunk that we're talking about right here. Great block by Jens Ruckert. Unfortunately, it was just a little too late. Another easy basket for Matthew Cleveland to start the half.
One thing Pace has done, man, throughout this game that I've been impressed with is their decision-making in transition. They've made some good passes in transition.
Just the easy, simple play, right?
Yes.
And that's Robert Dix with a little bit of a fadeaway. Probably should have went toward the rim, used his athleticism. But I think when Pace has got a couple tips and a couple blocks early, now they have South Cobb kind of on their heels. Instead of being an aggressor and going to the rim, they're shooting more fadeaways and more jump shots.
I just think South Cobb needs to see some plays, see the ball go in the basket a little bit, and maybe that'll give them a little bit of energy on the defensive end. You know as well as I know, Coach, both of you guys know, when the ball is going in, you have the tendency to play defense
and get some more energy,
better.
right? Yeah. Great play by Menenberg. They were able to get the backdoor that we talked about earlier. He drove hard at him with his left hand, was able to make a backdoor pass to Matthew Cleveland, who was able to get fouled and knock down his first free throw, trying to complete the second free throw as well.
But you know what, Coach Shaw, I'm going to go the other way with that one. Sometimes you got to turn it up on that defensive side to get the easy basket.
No question.
You know, you turn up on that.
Agree, Coach. I agree. I do not disagree with you, Coach. What you said is right on the money. You are 100% correct.
Man, this pace pressure just really has South Cobb on there. They just can't get comfortable. They can't get anything easy. They're able to pressure them without giving up easy baskets, which is a hard task. And then Cole Middleton is just allowing them to get one shot every time.
One thing pressure does, and both of you guys know this, when you're pressing and you're switching up your defenses all the time, it really disrupts your offense. You have no offensive flow, so guys are going to have to just make plays instead of worrying about the play. Because
being able to make a play in like a system-type setting.
Exactly. Because there's no plays when you're pressing. So you got to be aggressive and you got to come down and make the right play, because you can't draw anything up because they're running and they're trapping. So somebody needs to make a basketball play and make the right play and maybe get some easy buckets.
7 quick points by Matthew Cleveland to start the half.
He got 7 quick ones?
21 points in the game already.
You notice something I noticed they did on that play. That was the first time I saw somebody get to the center of the court when they ran that press, and they saw they broke it really easy.
And that's how you want to attack pressure. But then look at Madison Durr use his size and physicality to get to the rim, and nice finish.
I mean, Madison Durr looked like a strong safety.
Robert Dix has been the one consistent guy on the offensive attack for South Cobb, and they just need Travis Burris and Bassett Lucky to give them some. And also Jens Ruckert has to, at some point, give them some easy baskets here, too, because he's a guy who's an athletic guy that can give you a burst and kind of, raise your energy with one of these dunks.
He's had a couple good games here. I've seen, obviously, looking on Twitter, the great Twitter. You can get all your news on Twitter. He's had a couple good games here the last couple of weeks.
He's an explosive guy.
He's explosive, man. When he attacks that rim, he gets a butter rim.
That's Bassett Lecky, who made a 3 earlier and also got an easy basket this half with an unfortunate miss for a wide open corner 3. A little pinch post action by Pace right there. Cole Middleton with the handoff to a ball screen. Now they're trying to see if they can get it with a deep post position.
He is so physical posting.
He really is,
down
man.
there.
He said he cleared out space for Minenberg to get all the way to the rim.
That would have been his point. If Minenberger had finished that play, that point should have went to Cole, because
almost as good as an assist.
Man, he did an excellent job of getting post position down there and clearing out for.
Burrs finally was able to attack and get to the rim. He had Minenberger on him, who's a little bit small in stature. He was able to drive to the rim, accelerate up, explode up, and get over top of him with some elevation and get to the free throw line. Hopefully, if he can get a couple of these that go down, he can get in some kind of rhythm, some kind of flow on the offensive end.
I'm going to be honest with you guys.
That's his first basket of the game.
Wow.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. You guys are basketball guys. I'm an old football guy, man. When I see Cole Middleton, I get mad, because that's my starting defensive end.
No question about it. And a good defensive end at that.
Coach, that's a good one. Hey, Coach, don't count him out now. There's been a couple basketball players that played in the NFL.
Nice shot fake, step through by Josh Reed, who has continued to show his skill set around the rim and from three-point range. I mean, they just can't get the ball across half court.
They can't. This press has really disrupted South Cobb tonight. Oh, he's got to finish that play. Reed got to go up strong and finish those type of plays.
That's one of the few that he's missed in that situation. Great back tip by Minenberg. Now we got Matthew Cleveland coming downhill, which is similar to Scooter Henderson, who we saw in Game 2 coming downhill. Madison Durr playing his game, didn't settle for the 3, drove the ball. We talked about that in the last game. Know what your game is, know what your strengths are. Way to attack the rim and get to the rim and be big and athletic and finish at the rim.
Moultrie is just trying to find energy from anywhere he can. He's calling timeouts. I just think he doesn't have a really deep bench, so you got a lot of guys over there with just regular clothes on. Maybe need to get some of those coaches and try to put them in the game.
They didn't come over here with a lot of guys, man. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They got 8, 9 guys dressed out, and I'm pretty sure all 9 guys have gotten in the game. So they have what they have at this point, and none of those 9 guys seem to be enthused about this game or this situation and have been able to get into a flow outside of Robert Dix, who has 12 of their 31 points.
Sometimes, Coach, you got to go to the guys in the slacks.
The guys in the slacks, I don't think they want any part of this, Coach. I think they're just fine sitting over there giving some instruction.
Travis might have a couple buckets left.
He might, but he doesn't look like he's trying to go in. I would have told him, I would have been tapping him, man. Let me get in there. Pace has gone back to this aggressive zone that is really giving South Cobb a lot of problems.
Kind of starts out in a 1-1-3, then drops to a 2-3.
It does. I think he's gotten that from over there, Coach Hunter over there at Georgia State when Sherman White worked with him for a year. Nice drive by Travis Burris, who's finally, getting into the scorebook. That's 4 early points for him in the third quarter. And this is how Pace can hurt you. They can post up multiple positions. You got Matthew Cleveland who can post up. You got Josh Reed who can post up, and you got Cole Middleton who just wants to hit everybody.
Offensive rebound by Matt.
Yep. Nice touch on the rebound and finish. I mean, he's done a lot of damage in this half. He's got 9 points in this quarter alone.
What does that give him on the night, Coach?
He's at 23 in the third quarter. And he hasn't forced anything. He's been extremely efficient. And that he's got 23 points, and he hasn't made a three-point shot. That's all free throws and twos.
He has been putting up some numbers, Coach. Another guy I've been watching on Twitter a little bit. Obviously, I coached him a little bit this summer with the Atlanta Celtics. And he's done a lot to improve his basketball skill all around. And
I think coming to Pace has been huge for him.
I think Sharm's a good coach.
Yeah.
There's nothing like having a coach that's been at that level before, that's coached at that level, and also that has had some guys going that has been, big time play, big time dunk right there.
He can do that with the best of them. I don't know how much he's going to play in the fourth quarter. I'm pretty sure they're going to be digging into their bench in the fourth quarter, the way this is going. But a great play by Madison Durr right there with the steal and assist.
Great play by Madison, but the strength of Cleveland, too, to kind of shield this man off so he could get that ball.
No question. And then the explosiveness that you just can't teach at the rim. You either have that or you don't have that.
Dix with an aggressive drive. Didn't really have anywhere to go, but hey, Dix is just trying to make a play. Just anything to get his team going. He's been the only bright spot for South Cobb tonight.
And that's that on the SUV TV replay. That's the play that you're talking about, Matthew Cleveland. The seal and the hold off, the strength to catch the ball, one hard power dribble, and the athletic finish, and the emotion that he's shown tonight. He's very enthused and excited about this opportunity to play against a good team.
How about SUV TV with the replay?
Unbelievable. They're all over it.
I mean, can you imagine if we had SUV TV back in our day?
Man. We didn't have anything. You just had to tell people about how good you were back in that day.
Just look at all we did was look at the newspaper.
That's all you could do.
I'm gonna be honest, because I'm glad we didn't have SUV when I played, because I went to college. I played football in college. But as far as everybody in Atlanta concerned, I was a 20-point scorer in high school.
Nobody knows.
That's my story.
And I'm sticking to it, no question.
Hey, I'm telling you, my stories is real good. But, Coach, we can't find you on Google. Google one out, big dog.
It wasn't out. That's Matthew Cleveland's fourth and fifth free throws already in this third quarter. And now their lead has grown to 27. And this is getting ugly quick.
It's getting ugly, Coach.
Good finish by Cole Middleton, who's played a solid game. He's almost in double figures already.
South Cobb, they just don't look like they have the energy tonight. And sometimes you have these games. This is one of these games that, unless they're able to come back, Mochi will just throw this tape away.
There's no reason to look at this.
Just throw it away, Coach. Just throw it away.
One bright spot has been Robert Dix. He's played fairly well. He's been one of the few guys that can match the athleticism and energy of Pace.
Picked up a charge on that one. You know the one thing about Robert Dix, and I kind of hate that this year with all that COVID stuff, he's going under the radar of so many coaches, because scholarships are limited because of COVID. They don't know who's coming back with college and how they're going to work out eligibility, and that's really going to hurt him. So I can imagine him going to prep school next year, and then the year after, him being a highly sought-after guy. That's
the good thing about DSUV TV, though. Hopefully some college coaches are tuning in to this event and other events and getting the opportunity to see him play against high-level competition and realize that regardless of what the score is, he's actually played fairly well in this game, and he's been able to compete, and one of the few guys on the South Cobb side that's been able to match the athleticism of the Pace team.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll call some people on him, because he's played with some energy today, and that's a part of our job too, Coach. We got to step in and
try to help these guys.
Got to try to help some of these guys, use some of our contacts, because it's a tough year for everybody. It's a tough year for even those guys that are in college right now. Coaches are doing recruiting. I mean, I can only imagine having to be at the office every day.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been. I mean, those guys haven't been out on the road since when? Last April.
And they're not going out until at the earliest April, and we're not even sure what's going to happen then, because as we talked about off air, who knows what the numbers will be like when we get to April.
Oh, a little physical. South Cobb, that's frustration right there. That's
because I don't even think L.J. Moore even knew what happened right there. He wasn't trying to get into any kind of altercation.
Yeah,
but when you're down 27, you can be frustrated and be a little chippy. Maybe that'll wake him up, because the actual game itself hasn't woken him up. But the coach Coach Mocher didn't like the way that happened. He's gonna go ahead. Oh, is he taking out Robert Dix? He's not taking out Burrs.
Looks like he's taking out Dix. Give Dix a little bit of rest. I mean, that's the only. He's the only guy that looked like he's exuding a lot of energy right now.
This is a bad feeling. If you coach long enough, you've been in these situations, unfortunately, multiple times, and it's a bad feeling sitting over there as a coach and you just see the lead keep extending and extending and extending, and your guys aren't playing with any energy, and it's only so much you can do sitting over there on the sideline. At some point, you just want to get the clock to run out.
I was just about to say that, Coach. You've been over there and I've been over there like, come on, clock. Just keep going. Just keep on going.
Let's move on to the next day.
Let's get to the next game.
Burris has actually played well this half.
6 points
He's
this
got,
half, right?
6 points this quarter, and that's his only 6 points for the game.
Smart.
Picks up a charge right there.
Yep. And maybe that little mini altercation will get him going. And that's a play that, as many positive things as we said about Cole Middleton, he's got to get to a point where he can have the awareness to stop, be under control, and not run over the defender in that spot. And I'm pretty sure that's why they took him out, so they can have a brief talk with him, and kind of settle him down and let him know that that's something he's got to be better at.
And also the guard in that situation has to realize that
Don't put him in a bad position.
Don't put him in a bad position. That's not a place where we were trying to get Cole the ball. Great drive right there.
And he's played well. That's Jermaine Fahy, who made 2 threes early in the first half and didn't get any more attempts. That's a nice drive and floater that he made right there. Look at Madison Dirt, man. I'm telling you. He's got some ability. If he can just make a consistent jump shot, he's a jump shot away from being a guy who's playing in the American or Conference USA, maybe Atlantic 10, because he has size for the position and a high IQ. He just has to be able to make jump shots.
Kind of reminds me of a guy that's at Tulane that plays for one of your old colleagues,
Sion James, yeah. Big guard, big strong body guard.
Big strong body guard. And actually, Sion, I think, is averaging 11 points a game as a freshman.
He's playing really well. They've actually inserted him into the starting lineup. He's kind of a switchblade. He can do so many things. You can play him at the point. You can play him all the way down to the 4 because he has size and can do a lot of different things.
There's your guy, Rucker. Rucker played well this quarter.
He has. Burris with another free throw. He's made 5 free throws here in this third quarter.
Not Rucker, I'm sorry, Burris. I apologize.
Got 8 points in this quarter, and they needed every one of them. That's another steal right there. So, like I said, that little bit of a skirmish has got him going. They're trying to chip away at this lead that was getting out of hand at one point. Now they're trying to slowly, maybe you can get it down to 20 going into the fourth quarter, and anything can happen.
Get it down to 20, Coach. Just get it down to 20. Just get it respectable.
They're trapping and they're playing hard. One thing you say, they're actually playing with more energy now than they had the whole game.
I think Sharman going to have to make an adjustment on this press break right now because they keep getting it in what we call the trapping, coughing corners. And when you get in that situation and you get trapped right there, there's really no outlet for you to go, especially if they take away that back pass and your middle guy's taken away. So you got to kind of try to get the ball to the middle of the floor and attack instead of getting the ball here in these corners and what we like to call coughing corners and getting trapped and just getting in no man's land and having nowhere to go.
And they call it the coughing corner because now you've actually created extra defenders. You got a defender as the sideline is another defender, the half-court line is another defender, and you're being trapped. So you're basically being trapped by 4 people. So you have nowhere to go. You can't back dribble. You can't go to the side. You're just in a bad situation where you're hoping and depending on your teammates to get open. And if the 2 interceptor guys are doing a good job and the guy in the back who's protecting the rim is doing a good job, you're forced to basically call a timeout or try to bounce it off of his leg.
That's all you can do, Coach.
But that's so interesting. That shows you how well of a coach. That's to me that's coaching, man. For your players, your defensive players to know that,
force it to go into those areas.
Go to that spot, man, and that's what separates a good team from a great team. A great team can force you into that area, force you into that coughing corner.
Josh Reed, you can't let him get to his left hand, man.
Great.
If you let him get to his left hand.
Great. And Sharman drew that up out of bounds. He wanted to get Reed at the top of the key
and let him drive to his strong hand
with the floor space, driving left and driving to go make a play. Again, that shows Sharman's experience.
No question about it.
Call him heavy hands. That's what I'm gonna start calling him now. Heavy hands. I like that name.
He's running out of fingers to get rings for.
He is, Coach. He is, Coach.
Get sized up for some championship toe rings in a little bit.
He might as well.
Matthew Cleveland had 13 points in that quarter. Madison Dirt had 4. L.J. Moore got a nice little layup in there and gave him some good minutes. Cole Middleton had 2. Josh Reed, who just finished that play, had 4 in that quarter. On the other side, Basit Lecky had 2 in that quarter. Travis Burris was able to get to the free throw line, make 6 free throws, had 8 points. Robert Dix had 4 more points, who gets him to 14, gets him to double digits. Jermaine Fahy with 2 points. And then Joshua Miles did not scratch. So got this down to a 25-point game. I think Pace has played great, and it's going to be hard, to be honest with you. I just think sometimes you run into a team that's better than you and you're playing them on their court. They came out with so much energy and enthusiasm, and I think we talked about it a couple times. Their pressure and their matchup zone has just been something that South Cobb hadn't been able to figure out. That's probably one that Madison needs to take. But look at the physicality when Cole catches the ball.
That's that defensive end, Cole.
Man, that boy, Cole is down there. Look like he just wants somebody to say something to him and do something to him down there.
And speaking of Cole's size, look at Cole's size and his frame. A lot of these, matter of fact, most of these pace guys, man, you look at the frame. Look.
I mean, I understand what's going on right there. Like Cole and Matthew Cleveland coming over there like, what's going on? This dude Burris is putting an elbow in Mindenberg's face. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to come over and show him that, like, we're not going to get punked in here. That's one thing we're not going to do. First of all, we're up 27. So we don't know why you're trying to fight us anyway.
Yes, bro. You need to be trying to make some baskets and not try to fight.
But what you're not going to do is just elbow my teammate. I'm going to come over and show him some support in this situation. And we both know that everybody knows that Cole is looking to just body check somebody or do something anyway.
He won't do something physical.
Regardless of the situation.
No switch out there right there by Matthew Cleveland. That's one that Leonard Hamilton next year will be on him about.
And they'll switch everything. So he'll be playing a totally different kind of style next year. I mean, they literally switch everything 1 to 5 the entire game. You will not be able to run any offense against Florida State. Everything is going to have to be off the dribble, and you're going to have to make plays and athletic plays at the rim. That's what makes it so difficult to play. You can't run your sets against them.
Well,
unforced turnover by Madison Durr right there. Travis Burrs gets to the rim, and the officials just let that one go because that looked like that could have been a foul. Then we got a lob play. Matthew Cleveland to Cole Middleton. I love to see it.
Oh, look at Matt's daddy over there. Matt's dad is excited over there.
I mean, he's usually on the other end of that. So to see his son be able to get to the point where he's skilled enough to get the rebound, push it, and kick it to somebody for the lob, hey, it's good to see your son be on the front end versus the back end of that lob play sometimes. Here we go. We got Josh Reed kicking it out. And the pass was on the money. Nice catch by Cole Middleton.
Great pass.
A nice outlet pass by Josh Reed to get the whole thing started as well.
And there it is, defense transition, coach, attacking the ball.
Yep. And nobody back protecting the rim.
Oh, my God.
Bad floor balance. Drives you crazy.
I'm going to do a camp on it, coach. I'm inviting you.
I'm going to be there, too. I don't like it either.
Middleton.
I thought he was going to try to turn it over, wasn't he? Hey, man, Cole Middleton is playing with some anger and some aggression tonight.
South Cobb is just trying to get this thing over. If it wasn't a shot clock, I would go to the Don Dollar ball, baby. I'll just run flex the whole time and run the clock out.
Yeah. And right now they also just want to know, can we get? Do we not have the 20-point rule or 30-point rule when it gets over a certain point and we get down to 4 minutes in the game, we just go ahead and call the game and move on to the next one?
That's the one thing about basketball that in high school they do the mercy rule. If it's 30 points going into the fourth quarter, they'll drop it down to 6. But
yeah.
If it ain't, you gotta bear it out, boy.
They didn't even do that when I played. I didn't even know about that. You just had first of all, I was never down 30.
Yeah,
I might have been on the other end of that.
You guys are not down 30 at Tucker, buddy.
No.
You weren't down.
But if you're down 30, yeah, wow. Put it to 6 minutes. So they barely missed that. Now it's 6 minutes, and it is 30.
I've been calling games for about 20 years now. I've seen some 110, some girls games, 110 to 12.
Oh, wow.
I've seen some ones that got
Coach,
ugly.
110
I can't even imagine being a coach on the other end of that.
I mean, what do you do?
And the thing is, 110, and it's not even really playing in the fourth quarter. You got your JV players in the game, and everybody's still scoring.
Now, if you're South Cobb, you got a decision to make as a coaching staff to me. Do we want to continue to press, open the court up, and give them the opportunity to show their athleticism at the end of it where they continue to dunk over and over again? Or do we just settle back in, play half-court man or maybe even a zone, make them shoot jump shots? Because we're not going to win this game anyway. And at this point, we're just trying to make the game respectable.
It's unbelievable that you would say that, Coach, because I watched you in high school over there at Tucker, and you guys picked up full court the whole game no matter what. So,
we weren't down 30. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
If you're down 30.
You were like, you weren't down 30.
Yes,
Okay.
If you're down 30, I'm saying South Cobb, not pace. If you're South Cobb, what do you want to do?
I mean, Coach, these guys will pick up full court the whole game. They were one of the first schools to do it, them and Dunwoody.
Hey, if we thought we had better athletes and we had more skilled players, so if we could speed the game up and get more possessions, then we had an opportunity to score more points.
South Cobb is just out of sync tonight, fellas. They're just out of sync, and Moultrie, like I said, he's just probably trying to get this one over with and Get them back on the bus.
They're at that point when all your coaches are just sitting down. Everybody has their hands, either straight out or a couple of them got them on their chin, and you're just, like you said, you're just waiting on the clock. Cole Middleton might dunk that. I mean, they are. You said this earlier, Sly, and this is one of the most the truest statements I've ever heard. If Cole Middleton is 2 inches taller, he's in the SEC or ACC.
No question.
He's probably down the street at Georgia Tech or down the road at the University of Georgia.
Yeah, because
what a great pass.
it's just hard to teach that kind of motor and that. How many big guys have that kind of physicality with them?
From right then, Coach, he ran from end to end and got a putback.
And those are little simple plays that, like, you don't even have to run. They don't even run any sets for them.
Coach, you talk about it all the time. You say it all the time.
Winning plays.
Winning plays, Coach. Winning plays.
And then what I like so much about that, he didn't have to run. Most people wouldn't even ran the court.
Exactly.
You got Cleveland with a layup, so why would you even run the court?
You assume he's going to make it.
Exactly.
Quick bucket by South COBB, by Lickett, by South COBB.
We talked about Cole. Cole only had 6 at the half. He's up to 18 points now, guys.
Another offensive rebound for Pace. Back up Josh Reed. Bucket. South COBB has not done the job on the boards tonight. They have not done the job offensively. They just had a bad night tonight.
I just don't know if they're athletic enough because, I mean, if you look at it, Madison Durr is a big guard, and he's athletic at the guard position. Cole Middleton is athletic. Josh Reed is athletic. Matthew Cleveland is as athletic as anyone in the country. They're just an athletic team.
Yeah, and then the guy off the bench, what's the young fella?
LJ Moore.
Athletic. Go ahead, Coach. I'm sorry.
I don't think it's athletic, Coach, though. I think it's strength.
Yeah.
I think Pace is just so much stronger than a lot
And
of
aggressive.
people. Aggressive.
Yeah.
Because South COBB, they have athletes. They have Jens Rucker can jump and out athlete.
Robert Dix, the Lecky twins, both of them.
They're all athletes, but Pace is just sometimes, my daddy used to practice and say sometimes people just better than you.
Yeah.
And that's what happened tonight.
It happens, Coach.
Nice sub. We got all 5. We got 5 new players in for Pace Academy. Good to see some of these younger guys get in, and be interesting to see if Jens Rucker and these guys can get loose against the second team. We got number 2, Buck Hall's in. Number 14, Davis Rice is in. 21, LJ Moore. 10, Logan Baker.
And 2.
And, 2, Buck Hall. So that's the 5 guys on the court for Pace right now. White, blue numbers. They've gone to their bench. All of them aren't young. Buck Hall is a sophomore. Logan Baker is a senior, though. But good to see some of the younger guys get an opportunity to play versus South COBB tonight.
Oh, good.
14, Davis Rice is the other guy that's in the game.
Davis Rice.
And he's a sophomore as well. Aggressive take to the rim right there that ended up being blocked.
It looks like off the free throw, Sharma was trying to run a sideline break there.
Which is something you don't see as much nowadays.
You don't see that a whole lot now unless you're playing against North Carolina. They still run the
to this
sideline
day.
break. It's unbelievable.
And it works.
Yes.
Big win for North Carolina today. They beat Kentucky, who is now 1-5.
Ooh,
I don't know if we've said that Kentucky was 1-5 in a long time. And that's Jermaine Fahy with another 3. That's his 3rd 3 of the game. Almost got a finish right there. He's up to he has 11 points, 12 points. He's actually been one of their better players tonight.
Coach, talk about that with Kentucky being 1-5. I get in a lot of debates with guys all the time because, all these kids, they come out with a lot of hype, McDonald All-Americans and all those things. And I think sometimes it's unwarranted hype, and it causes pressure for the kids when they get ready to go to these schools, and they try to perform up to the expectations of everybody that is making all these outlandish statements about them being the next, Dwayne Wade, the next this, the next that. And I think sometimes what we have to do, and it's all of us, we have to taper our expectations of these guys because, as you know, as well as I know, when you come in as a freshman,
it's hard.
It is hard.
Yeah.
It is one of the hardest
You're
things
playing against more experienced players.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, like me and you always talk about, you got study hall, you got weights, you got meetings, you got all this stuff that you're not.
Your day is completely taken before it starts.
You don't have a life.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes what happens is when those guys don't go perform in college, it's almost like, oh, man.
They're bad players.
No, they're not bad players. They just got to adjust.
And you got to give them some time. It takes longer.
Sometimes people adjust quicker than others. You know what I mean? And then sometimes you have those exceptional guys like we've had here in the past, the Jalen Browns, the Colin Sextons who've gone on to college. But
everybody can't do that.
Even Colin Sexton, I talk to you about this all the time, he struggled the first 2 or 3 weeks of practice.
Yeah.
And it just now obviously he picked it up and then just took off. But it is what it is.
And we talked about it off air. Kentucky, a big part of what's going on with them now is they're missing Kenny Payne, who was an assistant coach there. He's gone on to the New York Knicks.
My mentor.
And a great guy. So he was a guy that kind of held things together in the backgrounds, and they don't really have that right now. Good rebound and finish by Daquan Riggins right there.
Technical foul on South Cobb. They're just doing some things that they shouldn't be doing. I think they're a little bit frustrated about the score, so now they're just got unwarranted technical fouls.
It's the second one.
Yes.
So, what we talked about, we got B.J. Boston, who's over there at Kentucky, a local guy who ended up finishing at Sierra Canyon, but he's a Norcross guy. Actually was at Holy Spirit before that. And he has a ton of expectations. People want him to go in the lottery. You got him on the pre-draft mock board. Those NBA mock drafts are probably one of the worst things that ever happened.
How can you have a mock draft and you don't even know what the draft order is?
Nobody has any idea. Just wait and see what happens in the season and then figure it out at the end. So what happens is I think he's trying to do too much, and then he's thrust into a role that he's just not ready for. And maybe at the end of the year he'll be ready, but he doesn't even get a chance to progress and get better because people's expectations are so high for him too early. And I just think it's a tough situation for him and all those freshmen who go over to Kentucky. Everybody wants them to be lottery picks from day one, and everybody's path, everybody's journey is different. But hopefully it'll all work out for those guys. But 1-5 at Kentucky, I'm telling you right now, those fans and that fan base, they are going berserk.
They better be lucky that they can't get in the gym.
Oh, they would be going nuts if they were in Rupp Arena.
Oh, it'll be crazy.
I played ball at Eastern Kentucky. I played football at Eastern Kentucky, and I was there when Tubby Smith won the championship, when they won the championship. And I know how crazy they are in Kentucky. And I still have a lot of friends. Most of my friends still in Kentucky. And, man, I'm talking about somebody put a for sale sign on Calipari's house.
Oh, it's going to be more and more of them. I can tell you that right now. 1-5. I don't remember the last time they've been 1-5 at Kentucky.
Been a long time, Coach.
I couldn't tell you.
And he's sitting up in the press conference saying that, you want us to play this tough schedule and this is what you get. They don't want to hear that at Kentucky. They don't care who you play. They don't want to be 1-5.
See, but my thing is, even though kid might be overranked, he might be kind of new to the system trying to figure out college. If you're bringing in the number of top 5 class
every year,
to me, you have to win. You know, and a lot of it.
Well, first of all, you got to win if they pay you $9 million a year.
Exactly.
You got to find a way to win.
A lot of people don't want to say it, but I'll say it. I'll say it live on SUV TV. I don't, Calipari, for all the talent he's had over these years, he has underachieved at historic levels. He's underachieved.
He had Devin Booker averaging 11 points a game.
That team was really, really good.
That
team was a good team.
Look at the number 1 picks, the top 10 picks that he's had in Kentucky with what, two championships?
He's only won one championship, I think, right? Just one. Yeah.
Well, I will say this, and this is not to take up for him. Obviously, Kenny Payne was there for a long time, and I think he was a tribute to a lot of the success as Rucker scores on the easy layup out of the zone.
Would have been nice to see him do that against the higher tier guy because I think he's a good player. He just didn't have a good showing today, unfortunately.
But I think, the hardest thing about college basketball, and Darryl, you know this because you've been to the tournament a couple times, when you get to the NCAA tournament,
it's all about matchups.
It does not matter the talent that you have.
Yeah.
Now, because obviously he's had some talent, and he's really won at a high level. He just hasn't won a lot of championships, and I'm not saying this to take up for Cal. So
Great
don't
pass
get me
right
wrong.
here to Buck Hall for the finish.
I think what happens when you get to that tournament, it's a crapshoot, man.
It is. And it's all about matchups. It really is.
And that's the beauty of the tournament.
Yeah.
I think you guys beat what was the number?
We beat Baylor. They were a 4 seed.
You beat Baylor, number 4 seed. And if you're looking out there on the floor that night when they played Baylor.
They had pros.
But, hey, guess what? Darryl them beat them.
Yeah.
And obviously it was the last-second shot that beat them, but they were with them. They were blow for blow with them. So I understand what you're saying, and I totally agree with you. But I think sometimes the beauty of college basketball and the beauty of the tournament is when you get to that tournament, hey, man, everything else goes out the door, the talent, all that stuff, because, on any given night, and you know this in sports, Coach, you played, on any given night you could be beat. Some nights you just lay eggs some nights, and I think most of you kind of probably feeling that tonight.
And it's not like the NBA where you play series. It's an all-in-one game scenario. A lot of it's just depending if you're making shots that night. Again, the matchups, if you play certain styles, and can guys handle the environment, you're away from it. And it's going to be interesting this year because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a bubble all in the same city. is how they're probably planning on doing the NCAA tournament this year.
Who
So this will be
knows?
one of the most, if we get to the NCAA tournament, it'll be a very unique one.
The Lucky Twin.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how the NCAA tournament goes, and it could be even more shocking than normal. Because the other thing is, a lot of the older, more experienced teams that are mid-major teams could have more success just because they're more mature this year.
Well, I'll tell you what, somebody better look out for Gonzaga and Baylor.
Both of them are good teams, man. Really good teams.
They are good teams.
I don't know if you saw what Suggs did today. Suggs went 7 for 10 from 3. They beat Iowa today. Garza had 30, but Suggs had 30 as well, and they beat Iowa today, who's a very good team. Gonzaga's good.
I actually had that game recorded, Coach. You just ruined it.
My bad. Hey, well, now you know Suggs going to make 7.
I like he going to make 7, and Garza going to get 30.
Yeah. Hey, it's going to be a good game to watch regardless. But Suggs has been one of these outstanding freshmen that's come in, and I like to see how the higher-level guys aren't just going to Kentucky, Duke,
yes,
North Carolina anymore. They're spreading out. They're going to different schools, and I think that's made college basketball even more exciting.
I think so too, man, because now with everybody's on TV, you don't have to go to North Carolina or Duke. Everybody's on TV.
Exactly. And then sometimes you need to go blaze your own trail, do your own thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to see that everybody's not – Florida State's getting great players. I mean, guys don't have to go to what people consider the blue bloods anymore. You can go and do your own thing and go win at a high level and put yourself in a position where, it shows Steph Curry goes to Davis and he gets drafted. Damian Lillard goes to Weber State and he gets drafted. That's the athletic record that we were hoping to see to start the game. And that's off the right foot.
Yeah, no, he's athletic. He's a big-time athlete. He's a high major athlete.
No question about it. Can he just improve his skill enough to be a high major player? He's a senior now, so he could be a guy, though, that you never know, goes to a prep school, goes to a JUCO, refines his skill. He has the athleticism already, has been well coached, and ends up doing some things that people don't expect.
If I'm a kid right now and I don't have a scholarship offer, I probably would, if the junior college keeps the rule that they have, which I think they need to change their rule anyway. I think if you go to junior college and you play 2, it should only cost you 1.
Yeah.
If we could get that rule into place, Ruckert is a guy that could go to a JC and probably play a little bit more, gain a little bit more experience, gain a little bit more muscle, and maybe he'll be a guy down the line that because of his athleticism, that can maybe get the type of scholarship that he wanted, a high major program or mid-major plus, mid-major minus, because I don't think he has any scholarship offers as of yet, does he?
Not that I know of.
He doesn't yet, and I'm glad you brought up junior college because it's kind of like a stigma. A lot of people say, oh, if you go to junior college, you're not too smart. That's the reason you're going to
Coach,
junior
I
college.
went to JUCO.
Yeah, it's not necessarily about you don't have the grades, man. Sometimes you have to make what I call a business decision. It's a business decision you got to make. In junior college, I've seen it help out so many people, man. So many people took that junior college route, and life turned out great.
It helped me grow up, Coach. Cause, Coach Coach Darryl will probably tell you over here, I was a little bit different in high school. You know what I mean? So then I went to junior college, Coach, and I found out, you know what? There's some dudes crazy.
Much crazier than you.
I need to chill out here and figure some things out. But that's a good option, Coach. I think these guys need to look at there go my boys right there. I coached those guys this summer, man. I had a great time, Coach. They're great kids, man. Great kids, and I'm actually proud of those kids. I'm really proud of Matt. Matt grew up this summer. I'll tell you this, man. The first couple practices, and Matt was kind of feeling himself a little bit, and I said, hey, man, I coached a lot of guys. And listen, you need to understand something. I'm never going to be here to hurt you. I'm here to help you. And after that day, he came back, Coach, man, I was just having a bad day, man. But anything that you can tell me, anything that you can help me with, man, I'm trying.
And that's how you get better.
And that's what he's done, man. So I'm happy to see him have some success. I'm happy to see Madison Durr having some success, getting some scholarship offers. One of the things I told him is, hey, man, if they're going to pay for your school for free, just figure out one of these. If you got 5 or 6 schools that's going to pay for you to go to school, hey, pick one and go.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing like not having student loans.
Don't hold it out. Don't hold out on it. Go ahead and make a decision. Make sure that they like you, the situation fits you, the style fits you, and go ahead and go.
No doubt.
We're going to do some stats for this game for Pace Academy. We had 27 points for Matthew Cleveland. Played only a little bit over 3 quarters. Buck Hall had 4. Madison Durr had 8. L.J. Moore with 2. Cole Middleton with 18. Played terrific in the second half. He was physical, and I really like what he did. Josh Reed finished with 23.
Double-double for Cole.
Yeah, he played great today, man. Daquan Riggins with 2, Basit Lecky with 7, Travis Burris ended up with 8, got to the free throw line, played well in the second half. Jens Ruckert ended up with 8, Baki Lecky with 3, Robert Dix with 14, Jermaine Fahy ended up with 15, being the leading scorer for South Cobb, and Joshua Miles for 3. Again, we're outmatched. Sometimes you run into a better team, more aggressive team, and they played pace on their home court tonight. Great game for them. Any closing thoughts for you guys?
Oh man, I've enjoyed it. I like what I saw out of Pace, and I just think, making short and sweet, I think there's nothing in 2A for Pace Academy.
It's gonna be hard.
The only thing that'll stop them going to Macon is their bus breaking down on 75.
Well, for me, man, I enjoyed being with you guys doing this today, man. Started off my morning, man, had to bury one of my good friends' mom.
Yeah, I hate to hear that, man. Sorry, condolences.
I want to tell people out there, the people that are listening, man, as much as we can stay safe, stay safe. If you don't believe in masks, I understand everybody have their beliefs, but whatever we can do to get through this pandemic so we can get things kind of going back in the right direction, please do. Because I buried someone today that was very, very close to me. She was like a teen mom.
Yeah.
So 30-year friendship. And whatever we can do to stay safe, to get our lives back in order, man, so we can do this without the mask, so these kids can play without the mask, just please do. And if you don't want to wear a mask, stay in the house or whatever the case may be.
It's 2020, man. It's been a very interesting year. We're closing out the year. Let's learn from our mistakes from 2020, be more vigilant and aggressive in how we're going to protect ourselves in 2021. Be thankful for everything that we have, and look to move forward and have a great 2021. But we got to be more careful. And again, we got to be vigilant on everything that we do and protect ourselves. Thank you guys for joining us on DSUV TV. Great triple header here. Remember, come back on Monday. We will have the semifinals. We'll have games at 4 and 6 o'clock. The championship game will be on Tuesday at 4 o'clock. This is a great event for a great cause. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. Stay safe and do the right thing. See you guys later on DSUV TV.